What's up, guys? Tyler bringing you another episode of Project Miata. If you watched the last episode where I replaced the fuel filter, I was talking about how I had a problem with the engine bogging down. Well, I went to do my timing belt actually, and I figured out that's what it was. One of the gears was off by probably like a third of a gear. It slipped several teeth. How it still ran was beyond me. But actually, I redid the whole thing, new pumps, new seals. And come to find out, after everything's back together, I timed it wrong. I think I misaligned one of the cam gears. So, time to redo it again, and this time I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is remove the splash guard if you have it on here. I already took mine off already. And then you're going to disconnect these AC lines if you have them. Fortunately, the mounts for mine were too rusted on, so I had to actually cut them off, and then we got to drain the radiator if there's anything in there. While that's draining, the next thing I'm going to do is take the plug wires out and the spark plugs. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this cross piece for the intake. It's one screw, two screw, a vacuum hose, and then another vacuum line. Alright, so now that we have that off, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the radiator out, just so there's more space to work on this. So to get that out, you're going to have to take the upper hose off, you're going to have to take the lower hose down there off, mine's blue. Then there's one bolt right over here. One bolt right over here, and then fan clip, the fan clip, and this whole assembly will just come right out. Alright, so now that all the hoses are disconnected, the fans are unclipped, the bolts are out. Forgot one more thing you gotta do is you gotta undo your coolant overflow hose, and then this will lift right out. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the valve cover off and do that. There's 4 bolts on each side, 4 down the middle, one vacuum line, another one. Then back here, there's 1 bolt on this side of the coil pack and then 1 on this. And then we're gonna have to unplug these 2 sensors and this one, and then this whole assembly should come right off. Alright, so now there's 4 more bolts on this upper cover. There's one right here, here, here. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the housing for the thermostat, and then I'm going to unplug these 2 sensors, the one for the power steering, and I don't know what this one is, but you got to unplug that so you can get to the stuff. And then it's 2 12mm bolts, and this will come right off. And then I'm going to take the thermostat out, and I got a leak somewhere, so I'm going to pour coolant into here and see where it leaks out, but yeah, that's the next step. So the next thing we're going to do is I got to disconnect this hose. And I got to disconnect this one. There's that. Alright, so now that those are disconnected, the next step is going to be taking the belts off. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the accessory belt. And then I'm going to take off the water pump pulley and the alternator belt. So to get this off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this loose, I'm going to crack this loose, and then I'm going to untension it. The power steering pump should be able to drop, and then I'll be able to lift this belt right off. And then over here, you probably should undo the tensioner on the alternator, but as soon as you take this pulley off and the whole thing comes off, the belt will come off with the pulley. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is take the lower timing cover off. So there's going to be a bolt right here. This will take off the upper part. There's going to be a bolt there, a bolt there. There should be one there. I'm not quite too sure what happened about that. Or maybe there isn't. I'm not sure. Alright, so you do need to take the dampener off before you can get this lower one off, but I do have the upper one off. So for this part, you want to put the car into 5th gear, and then there's going to be 4 nuts and then the crank bolt. Alright, I've already gone ahead and done it, but there's a little spring that goes on the tensioner this way. It connects over on this little needle right there. So you want to take that off. You're going to loosen this. And I've already replaced these idlers, so I'm not going to take this one off. I think I'm going to have to take this one off, because I got to check to see if the pump's leaking. But yeah, that's the next step. And then the belt should slide right off. Alright, so this is a trick you're going to use for locking the cams in place. So you're going to take 2 crescent wrenches, put them on the cam right there and there. And you're going to put a vice grip on them and lock them in place. You're going to use this for when you're taking the cam gears on and off. So I'm going to take the cam gears off, see if I align them right, and then put them in the right way. I've already done the seals, so I won't be doing that. But there's 2 bolts you can take off here. The top will come off, and then you should be able to pull the seal right out, put a new one in. And be very careful when you're tightening them. It's like something inch pounds. Do not do it in torque pounds and foot pounds. Alright, I just want to show you something, and this is where I went wrong. So on the gears, there's a little notch on the cam. I had it on like this. Well, on the intake side, it's supposed to sit like that. So I had the gears, I had it timed right, the 19 teeth in between, bottom, top, dead center, all the marks lined up, but I had the fucking cam gear on the wrong way. So I'm going to switch these around. This one's wrong as well. It's supposed to be this way. I'm going to torque these back in. I believe it's like 44 foot-pounds. And then I'm going to time it. Before I torqued them back in, I remember I had to take this off and this off so I could figure out where the coolant leak is. But yeah, there's going to be 6 bolts on this cover, and then you'll be able to access the timing. The water pump. Alrighty, so I already have the new water pump in, but I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put a new gasket on. I got to replace the O-ring, so there's an inlet over here. There's 2 bolts on that, and then there's 4 bolts on the pump itself. Once you take all 6 of those off, the pump will come right off. And then to change the O-ring I'm talking about, I'm going to have to lift the power steering pulley up, then pull this away, and then get in through over here and replace the new O-ring. There's also one more nut holding on a bracket for the alternator to the water pump that you're going to have to take off. Alright, so I got all these surfaces cleaned, so the new gasket's good to go on. Turns out the old gasket and the new gasket were on, so I mean that's why it was leaking, so that's good to know. That'll be fixed. Yeah, so now I just got to get the pump back on, torque the pump down, get the idlers on, get the cam gears on, time it, and then throw everything back together. Alright, so now that I got the pump back on with new gaskets, sealant, what I'm going to do is start putting stuff back together. I'm going to put the cover plate here, and then I'm going to get the cam gears on in the right position, and then time the car. Alright, so now time for the fun part, time to time it. So right down here, you want to have this triangle lined up with this, I don't know if you can see that, this triangle lined up with that notch. And what that is, that means that the car is at bottom, top, dead center, so cylinder 1 is all the way up. That's how you want it to be when you time it. So get that bottom, top, dead center, put the car back in 5th so it won't go anywhere, and then we gotta line this I up with this I, and then this E with this E, and make sure there's 19 teeth in between the tick up here and the tick over here, and crank it a couple times, and if it's still all aligned, then that means I did it right. Alright guys, I just got done timing the car. Still bottom, top, dead center. 19 marks in between the teeth. These are lined up. That's it. I have the tensioner adjusted for it. It's got a little bit of play, but that's how you want it. So now it's just putting everything back together, and it's finally gonna fucking be done. Alright guys, I have everything together, and this is the moment of truth right here. Not gonna lie, I'm really fucking scared. If this doesn't start, I'm gonna be really upset. Well, it starts. It's very, very rough right now. Check engine lights on. Feels like it's evening out a little bit. There's a belt squealing. Alright, I'm gonna run a scanner and see what this check engine light's on for. Alright guys, that was the timing belt. I got a check engine light on for the crank position sensor. It's still leaking a little bit of coolant. It's not as bad as before, it just kind of drips. I don't know where to go with the car right now. I was kind of hoping they'd fix it, but yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. If you like the video, make sure to like it, drop a comment, tell me what you think, and subscribe for more content. Thank you.